Happy Monday, everybody. Today is January 29th, and this is end of market update. Hope you all had a great trading session. So let's start with Bitcoin, and you can see Bitcoin, this is CME futures, and Bitcoin is right near resistance. You can see I marked it with the red line here, red box. It's just like back testing, right near resistance. Now it really needs to break out of here, and if it cannot, then this is a perfect time. It can take a dip. Now, if I go to 1 hour chart, you can see here now there are gaps here, okay? So this day here exactly on 24th of January, it gapped up, did not fill this gap fully, and there's another gap here around 23rd of January on Tuesday, also gap up, and this 1 hour gap is still here, okay? So if you go to daily chart, you can see here there are these gaps marked with 39,835, 39,325. Then there are also gaps to the downside. If I zoom out, you can see there are gaps until 20,000, okay? So just remember, don't get too aggressive and too bullish on Bitcoin yet. Wait for it to break this resistance. So this resistance is around 44,340. Wait for it to constructively break this resistance. If it does not break, then it's going to come down eventually. Feb is usually bearish month for entire stock market. I'll show you on other stocks. So just be a bit careful. This could be coming. So just make sure if you're in profit, look to take profits. Ethereum. Now, one thing on Ethereum, there is a gap here around 2484. So this is good news for the bulls if you're holding Ethereum. This is still around 6.67% away. So this is what's telling me it's possible Bitcoin might have a little bit more upside, or if Bitcoin stabilizes here, that can also let Ethereum push another 6%, then fill this gap, and then it can come down and fill all these bottom gaps. If you go to 1 hour chart, if you want to know how I got this gap, you can see this CME futures here. If I zoom in here, this day exactly on 21st of January, you can see it gap down, and this gap is still here. It will be filled one day. Is it going to be tomorrow or day after? I don't know, but it's possible we could go fill this gap. So there's almost 6% possibility of upside, and then we could come down and start filling these other gaps later in the February. Okay, so Ethereum still more room to go, but look to take profit as soon as you can. Don't be too greedy. Okay, guys, that's it for crypto. Now I'm going to move to traditional market. Let's go to VIX and let's go to 1 hour chart and see if we can find anything. You can see we gapped up. So this is not good news for the bulls because we usually actually this is good news because we will come down and it's inversely correlated to S&P 500. So I think VIX is going to sell off and fill this gap around 13.27, which I just marked. And it could also come back on this trend line that could be still high low. So I think this week there are multiple earnings. Microsoft is providing earnings tomorrow. And then I think there is all these big Meta, Facebook, Google, and Apple is also providing earnings. So just be careful. It's going to be a very volatile week. Okay. So anyhow, looks like, oh, let me delete this. So looks like we have a little bit more downside on VIX. So if VIX sells, that means S&P 500 should go higher, stock market should go higher. So let's quickly see SPY. Okay, so SPY, I was thinking this is going to top out soon. So it's still possible we can just chop around here, but you can see how extended this is, overextended. And if I bring in moving averages, just to show you here, you can see we are way above this green line, which is 10 moving average. Usually price goes back to 10 moving average whenever it goes too high, comes back, and even this white line, which is 20 moving average, so it could even go there. So let me hide this for now. And you can see I'm looking for a top very soon, maybe this week, and then we're going to get a pullback. And when we get a pullback, probably after Apple earnings on Thursday, we should get a pullback. So look to take profits. Don't be too greedy. If you're in profit, this is new all-time high. Look to take your profits. And you see this green box here? That's my ideal zone for a pullback. And also there's a gap here around 455. So we should eventually reach there. I'm not sure if we will reach there in Feb, but in Feb we could reach to 468. So just remember we are getting very close to a pullback, and you can see there are divergences in this is PPO. Let me bring this again. This is PPO here, you can see, and then this is RSI also, you can see. So price is going higher on lower momentum on PPO and RSI. So time to be careful. These are momentum indications, and they're telling you to be a bit careful. Triple Q, same thing here, new high, and you can see momentum indicators. You can see here RSI and PPO making lower high. So just be careful. And then if you get like a pullback, all these green lines are the gaps to fill. I have this a pink line. I think that's, you can see big gap here. Eventually that will be filled. I don't know when, but that's going to be a good target for me. So I just kept it for reference, but I think immediate pullback, we can reach 413, 407. Again, I think we're going to just stay here, chop around until Apple and Microsoft and all these big FANG earnings go away. Dow Jones also new high, and same scenario. You can see divergence, RSI lower high, PPO lower high, so just be careful. IWM also going higher, but now there's a big gap here around 192, and if it keeps going higher, then I think we'll still have divergence. But I'm if I'm gonna be bullish on any sector, I will be bullish on small caps compared to triple Qs, Nasdaq, and S&P 500 because there's a lot of potential for IWM. You can see still so far away from new all-time highs. So you can see if I draw it down, still 19% down. Okay, so there's a lot of potential for upside. But the only thing is I don't like this gap. So if you get a pullback in February, this gap around 192 can be filled. Okay, so this is all done. Let's quickly look at Tesla. Massive 4% move here. And if I go to 1 hour chart, let me bring in extended hours. Yes, it is there. Let's see. Yeah, I think we're making higher highs. You can see this high. It went above this high, so started making higher highs, and you can see green line is above red line, so momentum is turning good. But I'm getting a little bit of red dot here. That means 1 hour chart is very overbought, but daily chart there's a big gap. So it looks like most likely we're going higher to fill this gap around 206. All these yellow lines are the gaps to fill, but I think at short term we are still expecting a bounce, and that bounce can still go all the way 8% more to 206. So just keep that in mind. Gold, let me bring in moving averages. Let me put it here. So gold is holding very nicely. If I zoom in, you can see here gold is above all moving averages. Very nice move. Now trying to, you can see nice candle here today. Now trying to stay above it. And then if it closes above all these moving averages, that's going to push gold very higher. So looking very good. Silver also, you can see here. I don't see a trend line. I don't know where it went, but it's on a nice trend line. Let's just make a quick trend line if it's gone anyhow. So what we can do is we can make a trend line like this from here, something like this, or oops, or to make it a bit better, we can define it like this. But let's go with this because now it's making a new trend line. So I like this one. Let's just make a trend line like this on silver, and we are holding a trend line. So it's looking nice. Actually, before I had a trend line, let me draw that as well for you. My trend line before was something like this on silver. Yeah, something like this. All right. So yeah, so it's above all moving averages. I'll leave these trend lines here for now. Crude oil, let me bring in moving averages. Again, little bit of rejection here. It went above, if I zoom in, went above all moving averages. This 200 EM and SMA then got rejected. Let's see if it bounces here, and it really needs to close above this dark blue line, which is 200 SMA. So let's see if it can do that. Apple now holding above all moving averages. So could this be a higher low? Now, if I go to 1 hour chart, there was a gap which Apple had to fill, and they filled it today. This gap here around here, you see this gap here, they came and filled on the first hour. Now there's another massive gap here, 182.96, so just be a bit careful. But if I go to daily chart, if earnings are bad on Thursday, it could come all the way down to fill this gap. From here it could go all the way 4.5% to fill this gap. So just be careful. I think for now it looks like a nice chart, double bottom here and then making a broke out back test, and it's getting ready for next move, but just a bit careful here. Natural gas near 52-week low, so you can see I got a buy signal yesterday, actually today, and still I have divergence. You can see RSI higher high, PPR higher high. So in the long run, this is good, but I still expect a little bit more weakness in February. So even if we get a slight bounce here to fill this gap, you can see 1 hour chart, we had a gap here. Uh, you can see this gap down. And if I hide these moving averages, you can see it better. gap down, so it can still go to fill that gap before it can go higher again. So you can see fill this gap, then looking for lower prices in February, and then we're gonna bottom. That's what my expectation is. Dollar looking nice, flagging, looking for a breakout. And let's quickly see if there's anything else interesting. Netflix going higher on a daily chart, divergence, sell signal, look to take profits. Amazon, you can see all big FANG, big divergence here, so I'm not going to go through all of them. Let's wait for earnings because it's going to be a coin flip. So there's no point going through any of these, all right? Intel is, again, there's a gap here which is filled. So there's another couple of gaps here, one gap higher. We'll see which gap gets filled. Okay, guys, that's it for today, and I wish you all the best. Bye.